Here's the pathology thing for the day. Decubitus ulcer. I'll put a description right here of how to actually pronounce it then. So if you can't understand me, right here is where you can pronounce it then. Decubitus ulcer, let me just read a little bit out of Ruth Werner's Massage Therapist Guide to Pathology here. And basically what it is bed sores are ulcers caused by impaired circulation to the skin. Lack of blood supply leads to irreplaceable tissue death. And I myself, for many years before I got into massage, I was a nursing assistant and also a trained medication aide. And with that, I saw tons of decubitus ulcers on a regular basis, and some even the size of my fist. But the main times I saw those are if somebody wasn't turned right, and if they weren't turned in time. So usually in nursing homes, every 2 hours we have to turn somebody. So typically on one side, and then the next 2 hours on somebody's back, and then on the next 2 hours turn them on the other side, and just keep rotating that way. But the major time we saw those was when they got back from the hospital. So if they had any more complications, because typically some nursing homes, honestly, a lot of it gets a bad rap, but nursing homes in general are very good, and they take very good care of the residents. And all the nursing homes I worked in the past have been like that. Even though, again, the average person thinks, oh, scared about the nursing home, but they are a good place in general. And for bed sores, are indicated for massage only before they happen, so before they start to open up. And us as massage therapists, we're not supposed to massage a red, warm area because we think there's an infection. But with decubitus ulcers, before they start, sometimes they have a little bit of a warm or reddish place, because if somebody's laying on one certain area for a long period of time, that gets a little bit warm and it can be red. But us as nursing assistants and trained medication aides and nurses and stuff, we will actually massage that area once we see that, just because we want to get the circulation going. So it's totally different than the average massage therapist will think then with decubitus ulcers. And back in the day, in the late 80s, when I was a nursing assistant, what we did was we took Maalox. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes they still use it. But they take Maalox and they'll dab some on the decubitus ulcer area, and then they'll put a heat lamp over that for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But again, don't do this yourself. Make sure you get permission from a doctor and different ways to treat it. And nowadays, I'm pretty sure they still use like a duoderm, it's called. It's like a spongy kind of tape in a way, but it's Band-Aid in a way too, so it's just going over that area, and it's helping protect it, and it's a little bit soft too. But again, it all depends on how severe the decubitus ulcer is and how deep it is. And sometimes it gives off a different kind of a smell, and you'll definitely notice that if you've been working around decubitus ulcers, the different kind of smells then. But that's about all with decubitus ulcers. But in general, again, don't massage on them, of course. You can massage proximal to them, so let's say the decubitus ulcer is here. You can massage above that and up, kind of thing. But again, don't massage on the decubitus ulcer, because again, obvious reasons, any open areas, you don't massage it. It's just basic common sense. So just use that. And for more information, go check out Ruth Werner's book. There's a couple pages on the decubitus ulcers, and it even gives a nice, decent picture of what one is too. But again, in general, with the decubitus ulcers, a lot of times it's in bony areas. So the hips, the ankles, the knees, the elbows, the shoulders, that's the biggest areas that people tend to get those if they're laying in a position for a long period of time. Also, one other thing too is quadriplegics or even paraplegics can develop these too. So people that can't move around much, if they're not moved, they can develop this. And I remember one time in the nursing home, this one lady, she had like a sand bed, and it kind of circulated air constantly. So it was there wasn't one area where there's a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of pressure in just one area. So that's why, again, but it's a really expensive bed, is those sand beds then. But anybody that's seen the Decubitus ulcers or treated them or helped other people out, or even massage therapists that have seen them, please leave it in the comments section below. Thank you.